So I have some good news. I think you might be happy to hear about this. If everything goes according to plan, this is going to be the last video that goes out that was pre-recorded while I'm on vacation, which means that there might be a couple of days now without any videos on the channel, but the next episode of this series that goes out is going to be one where I can then go back and read all of the comments on part 9 up until and including this episode. So the comments, I am going to go through them. I've said before, I just wanted to let you know that this should be the last pre-recorded video on the channel for my vacation here in March of 2024. Now, what I'd like to do today is address some of my concerns with public transport, because it turns out that there's a lot of people want to go to Salem and they're just kind of waiting around. The trains that go back and forth, they fill up pretty regularly, but they're quite old. So I figure we could probably make them quite new, make them all fancy as well. But before we do that, I want to go and look at this guy. I know that's a little tease. That's what you call that. It's a hook. That's the thing we're doing later. That's like, you know when a YouTube video starts and it's like, oh my God, you're not going to believe this thing, but first this other thing. That's what that is. It's really, it's good when I have to explain it. Anyway, I want to look at this guy because it's getting there. It is getting there. The shipment's at 274. And that's because Salem's taking a little bit more in terms of tools and Oklahoma City's doing all right. But I want to go ahead and get this thing moving elsewhere. And I realize the High Point doesn't have any tools. So we should look into that. And we can do that very simply by bringing some tools down into essentially this space. Now I could use this little, that's actually a regular bus stop. Never mind. I couldn't use that. Where could I go then? Because this road's very busy. I feel like putting some trucks on this road would be a terrible idea. I guess right about here would be an interesting spot, because that should cover, and it does more or less cover everything. There's a couple of spots down here not getting covered with tools, but you know what? That's okay. We're going to go here. We are going to go all the way up to here as well. And that is essentially going to be road cargo. It is going to be High Point, and it's going to be tools with a lowercase O, tools delivery. And then what is the color for High Point? It's that light green. Is it that green? Is that the shade we're looking for? I think that's the shade we're looking for. That's good. So then at Salem Exchange, I want you to be loading up on nothing but tools right there. That should keep us pretty good. I am sort of thinking we should extend this. We have got 4 lines coming in here now. So let's just get ourselves a 4th platform and be a little bit more responsible about how we're doing things here. We'll extend them as well, because that seems like a solid idea. And then what we'll do is look at our terminals. We're going to say that the steel to tools is going to be platform or terminal 4. We're going to say you are going to be terminal 1. You're going to be terminal 2. You are going to be terminal 3. And that should keep us pretty good. I'm going to pin this for a second and just make sure that everything's doing what I want it to do. So that's going to 1. You are going to that one. You're going there, and you are going there. Okay. That is exactly what I was looking for. We have everything split up quite nicely now. And then I guess all we need to do is match the force with force. So 247 is what we're aiming for with this. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's a fair bit, but you know what? We'll get some vehicles here. We'll see what happens. We're going to be moving tools. So give me 10 of these guys for now. We're going to paint them up in a nice silvery color. And that is going to be High Point tools delivery. So they can go and do their thing. If we look up this way at High Point tools delivery, it's 148. So it's not quite where I want it to be. I figure we could maybe do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more vehicles in that line. And that'll bring us to 222. I'm okay with that. Looking at this guy, we should hopefully see that shipment increase. We've got numbers now going to High Point. That'll gradually get up there, which is great. And so this thing will eventually level up, which is what we want it to do. Now I want to circle back to my public transport thing, because this has just been bothering me. So why is it so bad here It's everyone wanting to go to Salem. And then down this way, they're wanting to head towards Salem as well. And then down this way, I get the feeling they're wanting to head towards San Francisco in this case. Yeah. We need to do something about that. So let's have a look at this. There's a lot of vehicles in this line. We have 12 of them. Each one of them can carry how many people? 95? Okay. Let's fix this. This is a disaster. We need some new vehicles here. I think we're using electric locomotives at the moment for this. We're still using this one, actually. This thing doesn't go out of fashion until 1995, so we got another 30 years with this guy if we really want to. I'm tempted to upgrade it, though, with a multi-unit, well, this guy, the Alco. We've used this on the other passenger line, the one that goes up to Montgomery, so I figure we could use it here as well. And I guess we're going to make it, I think I'm going to go with a nice light blue this time, just to be a little bit different on this one. Maybe a little bit of a darker blue. Just something a little bit more like this. No, I don't know if I like that either. Can I get like a nice navy blue? Like that's more of a denim-y kind of blue. Maybe not. Can I use this blue? Yeah, we'll use that one. That'll be fine. And for the passengers, we've got this guy, which is up to 2000, 2010 for this guy. This one carries more. We could use the parlor wagon, but I think we'll use this one. And I don't know if the blue is going to look all that good on it, but we're going to go, what was it, 90 something per train. We'll go to 152 per train on this one. So it's $354 million to replace all of these guys. But I want to say that that's probably a good call. And honestly, the blue and the yellow that's very Swedish, which is fitting, actually. That's, as this video is going out, that's where I'm on vacation. So yeah, that actually worked out really nicely. So I want to see what exactly that line can do now. It has a capacity of 1,824. All right. I would imagine that's going to do some good for us now, right? So this guy's coming down here. There's 64 people on board. I would imagine it's not going to pick up all that many as it heads out to Kansas City, but it does fit nicely into the station. We could actually make those trains a bit longer as well, which is great. So we might want to consider that. But this one has 70 people on board. I would imagine a few are going to get off here, but I would then imagine that this thing is now going to fill up, which is exactly the point and exactly what we want it to do. There we go. It's full. It can head along. That's great. That's hopefully going to solve some of my issues. Now, you want to know what I think would be a really chaotic decision? I think it would be a little bit chaotic of me to go into Salem and add some tram lines. But I really want to do that because at the moment, all of our public transport is pretty much within this sort of old ring road that you can see here. Then everything outside of it is suburbs and industry. So what if we were to put trams onto that ring road? Oh, by the way, we got new trucks and we are going to play around with those in a second, but I kind of want to be a little bit chaotic. I'm going to be honest. I think it would be really interesting just to see what happens. So we're going to go around and we're going to try this. And basically that entire ring road is going to have trams going back and forth and we'll see if it ends up being useful, disastrous. I realized that I haven't built any tram lines yet. And I did, admittedly, I checked Twitter not too long ago and there was someone, I can't remember who, but someone did tweet and was like, hey, you should build some trams. You've not got any right now and they'd be kind of cool. So I agree. I think trams would be a great idea. And just to be clear, when I say trams would be a great idea, I'm only slightly being sarcastic there. I do really like the idea of having some trams through here. So we are absolutely doing these tram lines and I'm very much going to be hoping that they work out nicely. We do have some buses that go around here already, which is actually pretty good, but we're going to basically replace one of the loops potentially with some trams. So we'll go to here as well. We can have some overlap with some of the bus stops. We can go to about here as well, which will be great. We can go to here and let's see, we can go down to here as well. I think that's about as far as we're going to need to go. Actually, we could probably do one out here as well, and that'll be pretty solid. So that'll be one loop of trams. And I guess I sort of want them going in the opposite direction as well. And so I guess with my tram lines in place, I've got some choices to make here. Now we can get these guys, 31 miles per hour, 18 is the capacity. We can go for a higher capacity tram that's going to be a bit slower. I think realistically, we're going to go with the Toronto. So let's get ourselves 5 of them. Let's get them painted in the right color, which is going to be that right there. And then Salem Loop 1. For those guys, we'll get ourselves another 5 of them. That was 3 of them. Give me 2 more. Get them all painted up in the right color as well. And that's going to be Salem Loop number 2. And hopefully we're going to see some people wanting to use those. Now, I do suspect that they're going to be stuck in traffic for a while. I'm going to be honest. I do suspect that's going to be a problem. I am wondering, can I turn off some of these traffic lights, like these guys? I can't turn these ones off. I don't think I should turn those ones off. I can turn these off though, and turn those off too. I'm just going to turn some of them off here and there because I really think we could do without them. There's just a few too many, and we'll see if that helps us out. At the very least, we have some pretty good looking trams. I think they look great. I'm not sure if they're going to, I really don't know if they're going to be used, but we will absolutely see. We already have some people wanting to go in the trams right there. So that's great. That's definitely what we're looking for. Are these, let me have a look at these vehicles real quick. Are we using the most up-to-date vehicles for passengers here? Are we using the twin coach or the, let's update to the, yeah, we're using, yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. So Salem Loop number 2 right there. Can I, where's the other Salem Loop around here? Is it this one? Salem Loop 1? Vehicles, select all of them, replace them with the fishbowl. Be an easy 2 million to do that, but it should make people a little bit happier and get them around a little bit faster, which is great. And then we do have the trams, which I would imagine no one's going to be using for the time being, but they will slowly come around, I'm sure. We also seem to have some issues with Salem bricks delivery. Now, what's going on with this? Bricks production is 636. Which comes in, it's 1-to-1, so 636. So that should be moving, I mean, it should be producing 600. We're just moving 356, which I would imagine is because this is doing 329. Yeah. So we are making more bricks than we know what to do with. And I would imagine part of that problem is just Salem is a nightmare for traffic. So that's kind of to be expected. Yeah. I'd like to do something about that. I don't know where to begin to deal with like this problem, for example. We also have some old buses in there that we should do something about as well. Let me manage all of those vehicles. There's 10 of them. Swap those out for the fishbowl as well. It's a little bit nicer. If you're going to be stuck in traffic, it might as well be a nice bus. You know, I realize I said earlier that I don't really know what to do about all the traffic problems. Realistically, more trains will solve quite a few of my issues. We're obviously bringing a lot of resources into the various towns by truck, and we're moving things between the different towns by truck. And on top of that, I'm also not doing amazing things with public transport. So yes, there are options. You know, trains would definitely be one that would help me out here. I have, however, added a new road. This one right here. It's got a nice bridge. It's kind of fancy. It's not necessary, but it's a nice looking bridge. So we got that going for us, which is great. I'm also amazed that this road is as busy as it is now. I wasn't expecting this like sort of back road out of High Point to be just completely packed with traffic. That's a little bit unexpected, and I might have to do something about that because that's definitely a problem. What if we were to do something stupid? What if we were to do a little road that comes off of here? And what if we were to do a little road that just comes off of here? I don't know if this is going to be a good idea. This might be a terrible idea, but just something like that. What if we did that? Just a little ramp that can get you up onto this top road. Might not be the greatest idea, but it does now mean that you can take this road to get into like Salem's sort of lower southern kind of end of town. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I get the feeling a lot of the traffic on this road is not interested in this part of Salem anyway. So, you know, we'll give it a minute. We'll see what happens. I have my doubts though. I'll tell you what is good though. This guy leveled up, so it's now able to produce up to 600 tools, which is great news. Our suppliers are still doing okay, I guess. They could probably be moving a little bit more. Transport's doing good, shipment's doing good. Consumers are all maxed out, which is great. So as the consumers want more things, we should see this thing continue to level up, which is what we're looking for. I just have to imagine that bringing anything down into High Point is going to be a nightmare because, well, yes, traffic, lots of it. That's so much. There's just so much here. And it's, I want to say it's these roads here that are causing the problems. Is anyone using this yet? No, still absolutely no. Okay. You know what? I tried. That's all that matters. We just don't need it. Is that, oh, look at that car. I love this, by the way. Wait, why is there, hold on a minute. It's 1965. Oh, his name's got the same name as me. That's pretty cool. All right. Was this still a thing? Like the sort of old, like 30s, 40s looking car in the 60s, like mid 60s? I guess it would be, right? People are still driving 20 and 30-year-old cars and beyond now. I love this. I love this style of car. It's such a beautiful looking car. Got like a Beetle right there. Got a VW bus right there. Got some old pickup trucks. I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely love the style of cars from sort of the 50s and 60s. There's something about them. They just look absolutely beautiful. Anyway, I want to move away from all that for a second and come back to Kansas City because I haven't had a look up here in a while and it's doing okay. It could definitely be doing better, but it's doing, I mean, it has food, right? It's got some food and that's okay. That's all it needs for now. How is this guy doing? This guy hasn't even leveled up right now, which is a bit of a concern. Kansas City, we're shipping 80. What is the demand right now? 271. Good Lord. Okay. Let me see here. Kansas City food production. That is all one line, right? Yeah. So it's going from that farm down to here out to there. Now, is that a ratio that we want to be doing? Because it's 1 to 1 in the long term, right? It's 1 grain or 2 grain to 1 alcohol and then 1 alcohol to 2 food. Yeah. Okay. I have to wonder if it'd be better to just set this up so that it's just sort of the back and forth rather than this like looping thing that we have going on. But it should be fine, right? That should be a thing. So 271 is what it's demanding right now. If I go to this line, 275 is what it's capable of. That's interesting. That's not quite what I'm looking for. And you're getting full production. You're just not getting the shipment. That's what's surprising to me is that you're just not getting the shipment that we'd be looking for. I think we set this up differently. I think we go in here and we redo this. We do a line that goes back and forth here, back and forth here. I mean, that's realistically going to be bringing 1 of those and then 2 of those. Yeah. I think we go back and forth. Does Garland have food right now? It does not. Let's set this up different. I was coming up here to build an airport. I'm not going to lie, but 1, I don't know where the hell I would build it. Probably down here. And 2, oh, look at this. That wasn't 2, by the way. This was just like a side. This looks really good. This is like, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Anyway, let's figure out this food situation because Kansas City, not getting enough. Absolutely not getting enough. What are you doing right now? You're producing 400? Yeah, we can do better than that. We can do much better than that. Let me go in here. Kansas City food production. Let me copy that name. Let me go ahead and manage those vehicles. We're going to sell them. And we are going to manage that line and delete it is what we're going to do. So that gives us, what is this? Is that just, that's a public transport line going around? You know what? We should upgrade you as well. Kansas Loop, let me manage those vehicles, replace them with these guys. So it's a little bit more modern. We should probably expand it down into the other neighborhoods too. We'll do that eventually. We'll definitely do that eventually. But for now, new line from here. It's going to be using both of those platforms. It's going to be waiting for a full load of whatever. Infinite time, doesn't matter. It'll load up pretty much instantly. And then you're going to come down to here. And that is going to be Kansas. That is going to be grain to alcohol. And that'll be fine. So it's going to be bright yellow. And then let's see. Do I want to expand this thing as well? I probably do. I'll tell you what, let's make this thing a little bit better as well. And so just like that, we have some new lines. We have a dedicated line for bringing grain and turning it into alcohol, taking alcohol, turning it into food, and then bringing food from here into Kansas City with several stops. We also have one to take food to Garland as well. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and try to max things out a little bit. So this guy, we can have it produce 600, which is great. I'm actually going to pause for a second while this is going on. So it can produce 600. This is going to consume 400. I want to say it's producing 200 of these. So it's going to be consuming 400 grain. So that means that this line, we're going to pin it for a second, and we're going to get ourselves some vehicles from this guy right here. So we need to be moving just grain, and that can go in one of these guys. So give me 15 of these trucks. We're moving grain, so we'll go for, I don't know, this color right here seems good for grain. And that's going to be going in Kansas grain to alcohol. That gives us a rate of 261. Not quite what I was looking for. I need that to be 400 is what I need that to be. So we'll go ahead and bring that up to 434. That's fine. 25 vehicles is a little bit much. I'm actually wondering, we do have new vehicles that I completely forgot about. So let me select all of those and let's see what we can do. So this can move 21 versus the 16 in the previous one. So yeah, this is going to be, it's going to be a hell of an improvement actually. That's going to be, what is that? What's the rate on that now? 693. Yeah, we can get rid of a few of those. I think we'll go ahead and get rid of 5 for the time being and see what that brings it down to. That's down to 554. Get me another 5 of them out of there. This is the part I'm excited about, where I can start doing larger vehicles, and that means less of them, obviously. So that's good. So if that's 400, that means that what comes out of here needs to be, production can be up to 200. Yeah. So we're going to want to get more of these. So alcohol to food is going to be our next one. And let me see what we can do in terms of vehicles for that. So alcohol is going to be moved in. Oh, this only moves. That's disappointing. This only moves 17 versus the 21 in these other guys. But 21 oil is kind of a big deal. Regardless, let's get 20 of these to start with. And it's going to be moving alcohol. I don't know what color we want that to be. We'll go for we'll go for this, I guess, is what we'll go for. And we'll put those on the good old Kansas alcohol to food line. That gives us 487. Yeah, that's considerably more than we need. So we can probably go ahead and sell back a few of those, is what I'm thinking we can do there. That brings us down to 243. That's more than enough. So that's perfect. So 243. And then if we have a look at the demand in Kansas for food, it's 266. That should be completely fine. This guy can produce up to 200 right now, which is fair enough. I mean, the ratio is going to be off here a little bit, but it'll balance out eventually, and that's what we're looking for. So 266, that means we're going to want to have a look at the Kansas food delivery line and get ourselves a few trucks for that guy as well. So let me just go for 5, since it's going to be a relatively short line. And we'll go for like a nice green color, a little bit of a brighter green there. And then Kansas food delivery is 142. Let me get 2 more of these guys. 198. Give me 1 more of these guys. And that's going to be 227. So that should be solid for now. We should see all those vehicles going out. We should see grain starting to get dumped in here, which is great news. This guy's hopefully going to keep up its production as well. And these trucks are, I mean, they are what I consider like kind of modern era trucks, right? That's pretty cool. I'm quite pleased about that. So that's good. That's progress. That should mean that we're starting to, we're going to start seeing some good things here. This is not necessarily producing as much as I would hope, but I would imagine these numbers will start to figure themselves out. And then when it comes to Garland, they want 246 food. So let's do exactly the same thing there. Let me go and have a look at this line. So Garland food delivery, pin you, buy vehicles, give me 15 of them for now. We'll get them in a bit of a darker green this time. It's very similar to the default one there. And then Garland food delivery is 276. That's solid. That's exactly what we're looking for. Now, I think just before we move away from Kansas City, because let's be honest, it's going to take a while for this all to come together. Although this guy is starting to level up, which is very exciting. But before we move away from Kansas City, I want an airport. I do. I just want an airport. I really do. I don't know if it makes a lot of sense. I don't know that this is going to be the best place for it. Just in general, this might be a bit of wishful thinking. It's going to be doing a lot of terraforming as well, but I just want one, you know? I just want an airport in here. I'm thinking we're going to maybe turn it around, though that looks like it's doing even more terraforming than, oh God. I don't know where I'm going to get an airport in here. I could maybe squeeze one up here. No. Well, maybe actually. Let's have a quick look. Oh God, no. I forget how big it is. I always forget how big the airports are. Out here is not flat by any means, but it's probably a better location for it. So I think maybe we try and get an airport out this way. Would this be acceptable? I feel like this is probably as good as it's going to get, right? It's still so much terraforming though. I might have to turn it around this way so that the terraforming's by the runway, like the bit of the cliff that we're carving into there. Although then there's so much land on the left side that we're also carving away there. Good Lord. There's just a lot of terraforming in general. I think this might be our sweet spot. Right about there, 20 million. That's still a ridiculous amount of money, but I think that's what we're going to go for. So we're going to build an airport right about there. It's got a runway pointed directly at a mountain, which is brave. Definitely brave, but we'll flatten some terrain around this and we'll see what kind of airport we can build. Because I do want some road connections down here. We don't necessarily need a train connection down here because at the end of the day, we can just run buses down this way. But I think a good bit of flat land around this to start with is going to be the way to go. Okay, so I think this is a decent start. We're obviously going to have to figure out how this is going to connect up to everything else, but this seems like a good start. I'm also kind of thinking that I might change this down here because this is currently not something I'm very happy with. So if I just pull all this back a little bit, what I think I can get away with doing here is changing this out for a bit of a bigger road. For one, we should probably upgrade a lot of these because they are still dirt roads as well. But I think we'll do this for this guy. And then the rest of it can stay dirt for the time being. I'm not really too concerned about it. But this is kind of this is what I'm interested in here, is what exactly I'm going to do with this, because the smoothing tool is great. It definitely blends things quite quickly, but I'm pretty sure that's still, yeah, it's still very, very steep in there. So if I wanted to bring this road straight out, it's going to start wanting to do bridges, which I'm not really wanting it to do. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not really the kind of road that I think needs bridges. I mean, I can just do this, which is, I think that's kind of what we're going to do, but it's definitely not ideal. As for this guy, we're going to bring it sort of straight across like this. I'm going to try my best to bring it sort of onto the land as kind of level as I can get it. So right about there, I think is pretty level. And then it can start to slope up and carve out the terrain just a little bit. I think that'll be completely fine. And I think what we'll do is bring it to there. We can do a section of road from here to there, take out the two end pieces. And I should be able to get something that curves around quite nicely here and quite nicely here as well. And that'll give us a straight shot to the airport. And then these guys, I mean, this is probably going to carve out some terrain, but you know what? I think we can get away with it. I think we can do something like, I think something like that's okay. Not the end of the world. And then this guy, I think maybe we bring back a little bit further and we just have it connect down here as well. So it can go something like this for now. And then I'm wondering if I go a little bit further back. I'm not too worried about this being a perfectly straight road. So we'll just do a nice little curve up like that. And that seems fine. I don't mind that. I am thinking we could take these guys out though and just redo that section of road to hopefully be a little bit more consistent, which it sort of is. I mean, it has to flatten out here, which is fine. And then maybe this bit can also be redone so it's not as level as I wanted it to be, but again, it's a little bit flatter, which is good. That seems fine. So that's one connection up to the airport, but then we have to worry about the one into Kansas, and that's the one that's going to be complicated because it's going to have to connect over here, I think, which means I might just need to, oh, that's going to be, that's going to be tricky. Maybe it just connects to this road up here. So maybe the airport connection is something like this, which I don't love the idea of doing, but that might just have to be how it is, unfortunately. And you know what? I figure this is going to be good enough. I don't love that this hill is right here. It does look a little bit steep and a little bit silly, but it's good enough. It's going to do the job. I'm also going to do a actual bus station down here. And I think we'll just do 2 platforms on either side. It probably doesn't need to be huge either. I'm just doing this so that the buses don't U-turn on the road. That's something that would kind of bother me. So we'll go ahead and build this thing right about here. And that looks pretty good. Honestly, it's right in the middle of the main terminal buildings, which is great. So I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get ourselves, I guess, just a bus that runs down to the airport and back is what we could go for. It doesn't need to be anything crazy complicated. We could go from, let's see, new line, let's say from here to there. So it's kind of hopping around town a little bit. It's going to come down to here and then it's just going to go back basically. So it just loops around. And I think that's okay. So it's going to be, what is it? Road passengers, Kansas, and it is going to be airport loop, I think is what we'll call it. So that should be fine. And we'll make it bright yellow as per usual. We'll get some buses on that in just a second. And then we'll get some planes out here and I think that'll be good. So passenger, we'll go for the fishbowl. We'll do, I'll say 5 of them, I think. Should be all right. I don't know if I like them in bright yellow, I'm going to be honest, but that's fine. So down to road passengers. Where is it? We've got so many lines. Airport loop right there. And that'll be fine. And then what we're going to do is a new line from here. And it's going to go basically up to Salem as per usual. So up to about there, it is going to be, what do we, so AP, so air passengers, I guess. And we'll do Salem/Kansas. And that'll be all right. We'll make this one, we've done sort of pink. We've done that. I don't know if I want to do yellow. I'm going to do blue. I'm going to go blue for these ones and that'll be all right. And then maybe we should do Kansas to Miami. Because it's kind of like from here, that's so laggy. It'd be such just a straight shot up to Miami. That might not be a bad idea. I think we might, honestly, start doing some different lines around here. So let's do exactly that. So from down here, it's using a different terminal, which is great. We want to go all the way across to Miami, which only has 1 passenger terminal right now. So we might want to be careful with this, but whatever. We'll do AP. We'll do Miami/Kansas. And that'll be all right. We'll make it, I think we'll do the same blue. We'll do that same blue. And I think we'll go ahead and sort of expand this airport just a little bit. So I can't do exactly what I'd like to do, but I can do this. I can bulldoze that guy. And I can hopefully put this guy in here and put another little passenger terminal right there. So that'll be all right. We can then hopefully move you down to terminal 2, which will keep things a little bit better. And that should be good. So what we can do now is go into Miami Airport. We can buy some vehicles. We do have a Boeing 737, by the way, but it's only available for cargo right now, which is a shame. We're stuck with the de Havilland Comet, but that's all right. We'll do 4 of them. We'll paint them that nice blue color and we're going to send those down from Miami to Kansas. We're going to do another 4 of them. We're going to paint them that lovely, lovely blue color and we're going to send them from Salem to Kansas. So they can all head out and start doing their thing. We have so many vehicles in here. Good Lord. That is, that is absurd. Is this even doing okay? This is still doing all right, actually, which is really surprising. There's so much more coal than there is iron, though. Good Lord. And I guess now we get to see whether or not anyone is going to want to fly down to Kansas. They can still get trains down there, and they can get trains from Kansas to Salem, so I don't necessarily know that this is going to be worthwhile. It might start losing me some money, but it's going to look cool, and that's kind of what I'm going for. Can I get another runway here? Is that a thing yet? No. Oh, I can do these at that other end of the runway, though. That's kind of cool. I'm pretty sure at some point we can build extra runways. I'm almost certain that that is a thing. I'm also curious. Oh, wow. We've got so many people waiting in here now. Good Lord. I'm pretty sure. Do we have anyone waiting down here? No. I don't know what I was expecting. I'm not going to lie. Really not sure what I was expecting. Kansas, to be fair, it might grow a little bit now that it has some extra connections, right? That's kind of what we're going for. And then in terms of food, it's starting to get its deliveries, which is great. Looking here, this guy is doing all right. We're moving everything we can to Kansas and Garland, which is great. So as they grow, things will figure themselves out. And that's what I'm looking. Oh my God. That comes in low. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, no. I do not like that. That is not the side of the airport I thought they were landing from. I'm pretty sure I did check at one point and I didn't really pay attention, but oh, I don't like that at all. That is I kind of need to wait. What did you just level up? Oh, look at you. Okay, hopefully that'll continue to be a thing. Here's the other plane. Here's the you know what I'm gonna do just very quickly before I witness this absolute monstrosity of a landing? I am gonna just change this road out for a better bridge, I think. So not the stone one, not that one. I want this guy. I think that looks good. I think that looks, I mean, you know, I say good enough is what it looks. It looks good enough. I don't know what's going on with this bit. It's a bit weird looking, but we can do this. We can sort of smooth it out a little bit, which kind of ruins the effect of the canyon, but you know what? It looks all right. It looks, it looks fine. So this plane comes in. Oh my God. It's really, really low over some of these houses. I can't imagine they're pleased. So what is it? It's basically clipping that tree. You know, I think we're gonna take out some of these trees is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take some of these out and yeah, it's not any safer when I do that. Keep that in mind. Like this is not better. It's still kind of close to the mountain, but you know what? It's fine. It's completely fine. We're not going to worry too much about it. This guy has leveled up, which is great news. Hopefully it will continue to do that. We have so much grain coming down here. Looking over this way, this guy is producing ridiculous amounts as well. So that's great. Hopefully we can just get it all going around doing its thing. Hopefully we can get more people into Kansas, get more food into Kansas, get the population up really nicely, get this guy leveled up. Hopefully we can just keep doing good things. But we're going to have to wait until next time to see what exactly those good things are going to continue to be, which for me is going to be a couple of weeks. For you, it's going to be a couple of days. Because this, like I said at the start, this is the last pre-recorded thing that I'm doing before I go on vacation. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I'll be diving into your comments on the last 6 episodes, I think. In the next one, we'll start going in and, you know, through all that feedback. But thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.